Some of what you just described requires a lot of coordination with other government agencies. Like you mentioned, basically the State Department of Corrections, DOCS, they're sending people here after they're incarcerated. You've got all kinds of federal funding streams. You've got the district attorneys who, and the court system, which frankly will determine how fast people get processed and maybe get out of Rikers Island, that sort of a thing. But let me ask you about the extreme example that is on everybody's minds, which is a federal government that has talked openly about sending troops here or nationalizing the National Guard and placing them on the streets of New York.
You know, I agree with Commissioner Tisch's response to this, which is that we do not need the National Guard here in New York City. And we know that no matter the context within which it is described, this has nothing to do with questions of crime and safety. If it was questions of crime and safety, then you would see the deployment of the National Guard in the 8 of the 10 states that have the highest levels of crime in the country, which are Republican-led. It is not about that. It is an attempt to insert Donald Trump, his agenda, his vision into the hearts of municipalities that showcase an alternative style of politics that is actually for people, that has an affirmative vision of what's possible for them. And I think of a few things. One is the necessity of partnership, working alongside elected officials at every level. You look at California, it was the mayor of LA, it was the governor of the state, it was the attorney general together. They worked together, they filed a lawsuit. A federal judge recently found in their favor that the deployment was illegal. And through the attorney general of California, the steps that they have taken, for every dollar they've spent on a lawsuit, they've won more than $33,000 in federal funding that has been returned to them. I can't quite imagine Andrew Cuomo working with Tish James and Kathy Hochul to
maybe not
fight back against the deployment of the National Guard. And I have appreciated here that we have an incredible attorney general whose support I'm so proud to have, who has been on the front lines of this, and in Governor Hochul, someone who has shown that it is possible to actually fight back against Trump. You think about this, you think about the battle around congestion pricing. You don't hear about it much anymore. And part of that is because it's been successful. But for it to be successful, it needed to be defended. And the governor's forceful pushback of that is part of what allowed the time, the space, the oxygen for it to become an issue such that the federal administration wouldn't even want to tackle it anymore.
Okay. That brings us to the